Hi everyone, time for our virtual reading lesson today. Today, before we start our lesson, please make sure you've read chapter 4 of The Thief of Always and that you have a paper and pencil for taking notes because today you will take some notes before the end of the lesson. And today's lesson is going to build off what we did yesterday. So I am actually going to be rereading some parts of chapter 4 to you, The Thief of Always. And I want you to look out for those learning moment signals that we talked about yesterday. So, the first signal that we talked about yesterday was when characters are asking questions and then other characters are giving answers. I want you to definitely look for that as we reread chapter 4 today. The next signal we want to make sure that we are aware of is when characters are explaining something to another character. And the last thing that we're going to be on the lookout for is a new experience. When your character has a new experience, that is a learning moment signal. So as I reread chapter 4 of The Thief of Always, I want you to take notes when you see characters asking questions, when you see characters explaining something, or when you see a character having a new experience. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start on page 32, and then I'll continue until I get to page 36. So make sure you have those papers and pencils ready to go. Here we go. The sun came to wake him soon after dawn, a straight white dart of light laid on his lids. He sat up with a start, wondering for a moment what bed this was, what room, what house. Then his memories of the previous day returned, and he realized that he had slept from late afternoon to early morning. The rest had strengthened him. He felt energetic, and with a whoop of pleasure he jumped out of bed and got dressed. The house was more welcoming than ever today. The flowers Mrs. Griffin had set on every table and sill singing with color. The front door stood open, and sliding down the gleaming banister, Harvey raced out onto the porch to inspect the morning. A surprise awaited him. The trees, which had been heavy with leaves the previous afternoon, had shed their canopy. They were new, tiny buds on every branch and twig, as though this were the first day of spring. "Another day, another $1," said Wendell, ambling around the corner of the house. "What does that mean?" said Harvey. It's what my father used to say all the time. Another day, another $1. He's a banker, my dad. Wendell Hamilton II. And me, I'm Wendell Hamilton III. How'd you know? Lucky guess, I'm Harvey. Yeah, I know. Do you like tree houses? I never had one. Wendell pointed up at the tallest tree. There was a platform perched up among the branches, with a rudimentary house built upon it. I've been looking up there for weeks, said Wendell. I've been working up there for weeks, said Wendell, but I can't get it finished alone. You want to help me? Sure, but I've got to eat something first. Go eat, I'll be around. Harvey headed back inside and found Mrs. Griffin setting out a breakfast fit for a prince. There was milk spilt on the floor and a cat with a tail hooked like a question mark lapping it up. Clue Cat, he said. Yes, indeed, Miss Griffin said fondly. He's the wicked one. Clue Cat looked up as if he knew he was being talked about. Then he jumped up onto the table and searched among the plates of pancakes and waffles for something more to eat. Can he do whatever he likes? Harvey said, watching the cat sniff at this and that. I mean, does nobody control him? Well, we all have somebody watching over us, don't we? Mrs. Griffin replied, whether we like it or not. Now eat. You've got some wonderful times ahead of you. Harvey didn't need a second invitation. He dug into his second meal at the Holiday House with even more appetite than he had the first, and then headed out to meet the day. Oh, what a day it was! The breeze was warm and smelled of the green scents of growing things. The perfect sky was full of swooping birds. He sauntered through the grass, his hands in his pockets, like the lord of all he surveyed, calling to Wendell as he approached the trees. "Can I come up?" "If you've got a head for heights," Wendell dared him. The ladder creaked as he climbed, but he made the platform without missing a step. Wendell was impressed. "Not bad for a new boy," he said. "We had 2 kids here, couldn't even get halfway up." "Where'd they go?" "Back home, I suppose. Kids come and go, you know." Harvey peered out through the branches, upon which every bud was bursting. "You can't see much, can you?" he said. "I mean, there's no sign of the town at all." "Who cares?" said Wendell. "It's just gray out there anyway." "And it's sunny here," Harvey said, staring down at the wall of misty stones that divided the grounds of the house from the outside world. "How's that possible?" Wendell's answer was the same again. "Who cares?" he said. I know I don't. Now, are we going to start building or what?" They spent the next 2 hours working on the treehouse, descending a dozen times to dig through the timbers heaped beside the orchard, looking for boards to finish their repairs. By noon they had not only found enough wood to fix the roof, but they had each found fun. Harvey liked Wendell's bad jokes and "who cares," which found its way into every other sentence. And Wendell seemed just as happy to have Harvey's company. "You're the first kid who's been real fun," he said. "What about Lulu?" "What about her?" "Isn't she any fun?" "She was okay when I first arrived," Wendell admitted. "I mean, she's been here months, so she kind of showed me the place. But she's gotten weird the last few days. I see her sometimes wandering around like she's sleepwalking, with a blank expression on her face." "She's probably going crazy," Harvey said. "Her brain's turning to mush." "Do you know about that stuff?" Wendell wanted to know, his face lighting up with ghoulish delight. "Sure I do," Harvey lied. "My dad's a surgeon." Wendell was most impressed by this, and for the next few minutes listened in gaping envy as Harvey told him about the operations he had seen. Skulls sawn open and legs sawn off, feet sewn on where hands used to be, and a man with a boil on his behind that grew into a talking head. "You swear?" said Wendell. "I swear," said Harvey. "That's so cool." All this talk brought on a fierce hunger, and at Wendell's suggestion, they climbed down the ladder and wandered into the house to eat. "What do you want to do this afternoon?" he asked Harvey as they sat down at the table. "It's going to be real hot. It always is." "Is there anywhere we can swim?" And I'll stop right there. And go ahead and finish up your note-taking. If you need to pause the video to do that, go ahead and do that. Readers, while I was reading Chapter 4, I was thinking about how you guys at home must have been taking so many notes, because I saw so many learning moment signals. Like, I wonder if you read this. Harvey was asking lots of questions. Did you notice that? Some of you may have even written down some of the questions. Then Wendell and Mrs. Griffin both gave some explanations to Harvey. Hopefully you noticed that as well. Lots of questions, lots of answers, lots of explanations. Tomorrow morning for our morning meeting, if you are in Miss Sims's class, we are going to talk about your notes. So please, please keep your notes together and bring them to tomorrow's morning meeting. If you are in someone else's class, go ahead and take your notes on Chapter 4 of The Thief of Always and send them on to your teacher. I'm sure they would love to see your great thinking as we are reading The Thief of Always. So, readers, before you go off today to do your own reading, I want you to make sure that you have things to take notes with, your paper or your journal or your pencil. And as you're reading anything that you're reading, I want you to think about those learning moment signals. And I want you to write them down. And you can do this with any book that you're reading, not just the read aloud. I want you to look for when characters ask questions, when someone explains something like Wendell and Mrs. Griffin did to Harvey, or a new experience. So I also noticed a new experience for Harvey when he went up to the treehouse with Wendell and they became friends. That could be a really important part of that book, of our book. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson today, and it went a little bit longer than I expected, but that's okay. Now you've got a lot of things to think about as you read today, and I hope you start noticing all these things in your stories. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Goodbye.